I'm Cinderella and welcome to my channel Talks That Matter, a channel where we bring you everyday conversations with experts, thinkers and everyday change makers. Here we explore health, career, lifestyle and real life experiences which guide, inspire and empower you. Because some talks just don't pass time but they truly matter. So stay tuned, get inspired and let's grow together. So today on my show, we are joined by Dr. Beauty Sinha, who is a dentist by profession, an MBA by education, and a certified yoga teacher by passion. So welcome Dr. Beauty to my show. It's a pleasure having you. So Dr. Beauty, can you tell us something? As I already mentioned, still you can say something more about your career, how you started your yoga career. Like you are an MBA, you're a dentist, but you chose yoga. Why yoga? And your journey about yoga.
Sure. Thank you so much, Cinderella, for having me here. The question that you asked is why I chose yoga.
Right.
I would want to put that question as why yoga chose me or how yoga chose me.
Okay.
So back when I was in my school, I did most of my schooling from boarding schools.
Okay.
And there, as you know, nutrition is like the least important thing. So most of the meals that we had was only to fill our bellies, and we were very low on. All the food was very low on iron, and because of that, I think I got anemic, and I carried that anemia throughout my education, and it got really worse by the time I started my MBA in 2013 and 15. And during that time, my days were very, very hectic. And by the time I would finish my classes and I would go back to my residence, I would have no energy even to eat food. I would have to lie down first before I could get up and eat. So that was the situation, and my HB was as low as 6 on some days. So that's when that was the case, and we had to finish MBA like that. And at the end of 2015, when I got placed and I started working, somewhere at my workplace introduced me to yoga. And from there, I joined this yoga class, and it went on for 6 months, and I was enjoying it as some form of physical exercise because I hadn't really done anything before.
Mm.
In the name of exercise, all I had done was just taking parts in those competition. 1 minute में कितने squat हो सकते हैं, 1 minute में कितने sit up हो सकते हैं. So this was the first time I was actually doing something, and it was feeling good in my body. So I was enjoying it. I was keeping up, and luckily our teacher changed after a few months into it, and we got a new Guruji. And he was very good. He was very strict, but he was very good. The way he taught us yoga, and that's when we understood that it's not just an exercise. It's a lifestyle, and how you can actually bring yoga into your lifestyle.
Okay.
And by then I had already started feeling in my body that this was helping me. And when I did my next blood test, I saw that my HB had improved. And my immunity had changed because I used to be a person who used to catch infections at one sneeze. And then these 9 months, 10 months that I spent during my class, I did not need to go to a doctor once. So that's when I realized that this is something that I really enjoyed. And luckily also at that time, the Guruji used to make me take classes. So he used to make me take some of those classes for our own co-students, and I really enjoyed that. So that was the time I got introduced to teaching yoga.
Okay.
And this went on. I was doing my job, and at the same time, every now and then I would teach or I would learn yoga. So it stayed for as many as 5 years. And when COVID hit, my job also changed to work from home. And that's when I had this freedom of being able to go anywhere and do anything. So that was the time I utilized to go to Rishikesh and take a formal education in yoga.
Okay.
And then since I wanted to teach online and not stay restricted to one place, and that's the reason why I do not have a dental clinic also, honestly.
Okay.
Because I want to really travel, and I want to be able to, for philosophy wise, yoga is something that makes you travel within yourself. For you to be practicing yoga, you should not need to travel to another place.
Okay.
It's your own body that you're working on. So your body is available wherever you are. It doesn't require you to travel to one different place like that.
Okay. So like आज भी बहुत सारे लोग, many people think yoga क्या होता है योगा से, बस थोड़ा सा flexibility है. But I think yoga has got much more deeper meaning to it. Can you tell us in few lines ki what exactly is yoga? Is it only exercise for your physical fitness, or does it also help you in social, mental areas?
To answer this question, Cinderella, I will answer it in two parts. One is what yoga can do. According to World Health Organization, WHO, the definition of health has 5 different elements of health. Okay? It is social, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. 5 parts. If you have to define someone as healthy, all 5 parts of health have to be aligned.
Right.
And barring yoga, there's no other practice in the world that can touch all 5 aspects of health. So this is what yoga can do.
Okay.
Any other practice you pick, you can either maybe touch 1 element, 2 element, or 3 maximum, but not all 5. This is only yoga. And what yoga is, there are multiple parts of yoga. 4 major parts of yoga. The first one is karma yoga. Okay. This might sound philosophical, but it's very, very relevant in today's time. Some people enjoy working so much that they don't enjoy anything else. Even when they age, they would still want to stay engaged with something. They cannot just sit quietly. They are the people who could do great at karma yoga. Okay, karma yoga is basically finding your peace through action, through work. Then there is bhakti yoga, devotion.
Right.
So singing, chanting, dancing, all forms of devotion. That's the second part. The third part is Gyan Yoga, wisdom, gaining knowledge, sharing knowledge. That becomes a path for enlightenment for those yogis. And then the last one, which is the king of all paths, is called Raj Yoga. The name is Raj Yoga because it is king of all paths.
Okay.
And it is majorly around using your mind, trying to calm your mind through different practices that Raj Yoga has listed.
Okay.
So all these different kinds of yoga that you hear, Hatha Yoga, Vinyasa, Ashtanga, Iyengar, whatever you hear, these are all paths, these are all like babies of Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga is the mother of all these. So this is what overall a gist of yoga is.
Okay. So my next question is, if someone wants to start with yoga, a beginner, from where does he or she start yoga with? How does he or she start yoga with?
I would say pranayama is somewhere they should start. If someone who has never done anything, so I don't know if they will be in physical condition to be able to pick up asanas, but pranayama is something that anybody can do. And in those pranayams also deep breathing anybody can do. Then there is something called as Nadi Shodhan Pranayama, right? Which generally people know as Anulom Vilom. Whereas Anulom Vilom is not a technically correct name, but it doesn't matter what name you call it. As long as you are able to do the practice right. You inhale from one nostril, exhale from the other, inhale from the other, and then exhale from the first one. So this is something that is great. There are multiple scientific papers published on Nadi Shodhan Pranayam.
Okay.
There's a very recent study on diabetes, since diabetes has become like a disease that every household has. Every household has at least one person diabetic.
Right. I was just coming to that. But so you're saying as a beginner, first you start with pranayama. Okay.
Yes.
Also, there's one more question. Like many people think कि योगा से होता ही क्या है? क्या होता है योगा से? बस जाओ, स्ट्रेच करके आओ, थोड़ी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी बढ़ती है, and that's it. So there are myths about yoga कि स्टूडियो चाहिए, ऑनलाइन कैसे? There's myths about online also कि ऑनलाइन कैसे कर सकते हैं आप? तो कैन यू टेल अस कि योगा आप ऑनलाइन कर सकते हो, जरूरी नहीं कि उसके लिए स्टूडियो चाहिए नहीं चाहिए, और लाइक वट एवर यू हैव टू, आई मीन आपके जो करियर में आपने इतने साल किया है, आप बता सकते हो उसके बारे में.
So first part you said yoga से क्या होगा? I think nobody need to say anything. आप सिर्फ गूगल करो कि योगा की क्या फायदे हैं, and you will get millions of it. Now is the time, I think more than ever, कि योगा सबको पता है, योगा वर्ड सबको पता है. योगा वर्ड इसीलिए सबको पता है क्योंकि घर घर में किसी ने तो कभी योगा के नाम पे कुछ ट्राई किया होगा, and they may have benefited, they may not have, but they have definitely tried yoga. And by tried yoga, I would say maybe they have done some asanas here and there, whatever. But they know yoga. And thanks to all these great people who are doing a lot of work to promote yoga. Coming to whether a studio is required to practice yoga, like I said in the beginning, आपकी बॉडी के ऊपर आपको काम करना है. This is your own body. Wherever you have your body, that's where you can practice yoga.
Okay.
So, and you don't require a mat also, honestly. The asanas can be done seated. There are so many different types of thousands of asanas. It doesn't require. When I travel, I don't have my mat sometimes. I do it just seated on the floor or on a towel or standing. I don't have to do. I don't really need a facade कि मुझे studio ही चाहिए, मुझे mat ही चाहिए.
Okay.
Talking about online yoga, which has been something that has picked up post-COVID a lot, because that was the time when people were forced to use online medium, and then they realized that this can actually not be a barrier. This could be a facilitator. तो अगर आप स्टूडियो में योगा करते हो और आपने ये सोचा कि नहीं ऑनलाइन कैसे होगा, हम स्टूडियो में कोई देख रहा है हमको, कोई करेक्ट करने के लिए है या कोई मोटिवेशन है आसपास देख के, तो इट्स एब्सोल्युटली अ मिथ. आप अगर ऑनलाइन क्लास करोगे तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि कम्युनिटी अभी भी वहां पे है. देयर आर पीपल हु आर वर्किंग अलोंग विथ यू, एंड ऑल्सो इफ द टीचर इज गुड इनफ, if the teacher knows the job, they will be able to correct you. Most of the time स्टूडियो में जो मिस्टेक होती है कि हाथ लगा के करेक्शन करते हैं, ये डिपेंडेंसी बिल्ड कर रहे होते हैं. तो ऑनलाइन मोड में वो डिपेंडेंसी बिल्ड नहीं होती. आई विल टेल यू टू करेक्ट योर फुट अलाइनमेंट टू नी अलाइनमेंट. तो आपको याद रहेगा कि आपने खुद किया था, आपने क्या किया था, कैसा फील हुआ था. सो अ टीचर शुड बी एबल टू मेक करेक्शंस विदाउट टचिंग योर बॉडी.
Okay.
That's, I would say, that defines a good teacher.
Okay, so coming to pranayama, and like you just mentioned कि जरूरी नहीं है कि आप इसके लिए स्टूडियो ही चाहिए और चाहिए. तो ये जो नाड़ी शोधन है, और नाड़ी शोधन के साथ साथ भ्रामरी जो है, इसका क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है? बहुत लोगों को भ्रामरी का इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं पता है. तो जो वो हमिंग साउंड जो होता है, उसकी क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है योगा में?
आपने अगर कभी नोटिस किया हो, आप अच्छे मूड में होते हो तो आप ऐसे गाने गुनगुनाते रहते हो.
हाँ.
That is humming.
Right.
What does it do to you? It
Makes you
elevates your
happy,
mood. It elevates your mood. It releases certain good hormones in the body
Right.
that elevate your mood instantly.
Right.
Anytime you see somebody humming, you know that person is in a good mood. तो humming एक तो instantly आपका mood elevate करेगा, आपका stress reduce करेगा. इसका long term benefit ये है कि जब आप बहुत बार ये practice करते हो और उतनी देर तक आपकी बॉडी de-stressed मोड में रहती है, not in emergency mode that it always is, तो वो जो टाइम पीरियड होता है उसमें बॉडी रीसेट हो रही होती है, उसमें अच्छे हार्मोन्स रिलीज हो रहे होते हैं जो बॉडी के मेजर जो सिस्टम्स है, डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम, हार्ट, एक्सक्रीटरी सिस्टम या जो भी बॉडी में चल रहा है, वो सबको अलाइन कर रहे होते हैं. तो जब आप ये बार बार करते हो तो आपके सारे सिस्टम्स अलाइन होने लगते हैं बाय इटसेल्फ. इफ आई हैव टू गिव दिस आंसर इन अ वेरी वेरी शॉर्ट, the non-technical term, this is what happens with Bhramari.
Okay.
And of course mood better मतलब anxiety, depression, stress, ये जो सारी चीजें हम आजकल बहुत ज्यादा सुनते हैं.
So I was just coming to that कि I read it somewhere कि yoga has helped a lot of people who are into depression, जिनको stress है, anxiety है, and especially in today's world when we are just glued to the screen.
Yeah.
So how does yoga play its role over there?
I'm really grateful to you for asking this question in the first place. तो पहले तो ये हो क्यों रहा है इतना ज्यादा? There is so much information around. There is so much uninvited input from all around that how much ever you try to focus on one task, you will be distracted. You will get distracted the moment you pick up the phone, or the moment you pick up the newspaper, or the moment you talk to somebody, you go outside. Everywhere there's so much happening that you do get distracted. What yoga does is, like you have been practicing yoga, you know, हर एक मोमेंट में you have to bring your mind back. Your mind runs somewhere, you have to bring your mind back. So you're training your mind to come back. And when you keep coming back, you are from a distracted environment also, you can get trained to focus, to get less distracted. And that less distraction, that less noise, and that training to come back always calms your heart.
Right.
It reduces heart rate. And heart, there is also a very interesting study. It's actually a body also. It's called Heart Brain Institute.
Okay.
And it's actually a group of people who study how heart affects the brain. Brain affects the heart, that we know, because brain affects every part of the body. But the other way, heart affects your brain. If your heart rate, अगर आप कभी anxious हो, आप सिर्फ deep breathing करोगे, आपका heart rate कम हो जाएगा, आपका brain automatically काम हो जाता है. So the heart affects your brain. तो अगर आप यहाँ पे अच्छा फील करोगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपके थॉट्स अच्छे आएंगे, पॉजिटिव फीलिंग होगी, यू विल फील लाइट. सो दिस इज हाउ योगा हेल्प्स इन a gist. This is
Okay.
how yoga helps in anxiety and depression cases.
So also today if you see women, beyond pregnancy, हम pregnancy के बारे में तो बात करते हैं कि योगा करना चाहिए. Many women अभी भी नहीं करते हैं, उनको लगता है कि नहीं करना है. Because I remember I think 8th month 9th month में भी योगा कराते, different
Yes.
asanas बताते, but some women feel it's not safe. So, and today, especially among the younger generation, PCOS and PCOD का बहुत problem है. So, how does yoga play its role over there?
So, पहले जो आपने बोला ना pregnancy yoga का,
yes.
I just want to add one sentence over there. So, I take pregnancy yoga classes.
Okay.
And I've been teaching till the last date. Like, the due date is today.
Right.
And till yesterday, they have done classes. And in today also, if they had some cases where they had the labor or the planned admission in the evening, they have done class in the morning. Okay. So it's absolutely safe. It's just that हर एक trimester में अलग type के asanas करने होते हैं, and there are certain instructions that you have to give to the client who's doing it कि अगर उन्होंने ये feel किया तो ये नहीं करना है, ये observe किया तो whatever. You have to be really communicative with the client.
Yeah.
Coming to young girls and how PCOS, how yoga can help with PCOS and PCOD. Luckily, I think yoga, because it again connects your brain, your heart to all the systems. What happens in PCOS is most of the times it's not, the energy is not flowing properly. In philosophical terms, the energy is not flowing properly, and in scientific terms, probably the blood is not flowing properly.
Okay.
When you do certain kinds of movements with yoga, you are actually compressing and relaxing those organs. When there is compression and relaxation, the blood flows better.
Okay.
Wherever the blood can reach, the blood will take care of clearing the toxins, and the blood will take care of everything.
Right.
Providing nutrition, clearing waste, all of that. So, अगर आप blood अच्छे से flow करवा सकते हो अपने organs में, आपकी किसी organ में कोई issue नहीं होगी. So, through the twistings that we do, the hip opening that we do, forward bending, back bending, that's what is happening with the organs.
I want to put this question. Many women today, they still don't know what is perimenopause and menopause. So can you first talk about perimenopause and menopause, and then we can talk about yoga, how it helps.
Sure. Menopause का definition ये है कि for 12 straight months, a woman should have not gotten period.
Right.
That's the definition of menopause. Right. But before we hit menopause, whatever age it comes at, between 45 to 50, sometimes 55, जिस भी age में होता है वो phase आता है जब पूरे एक साल तक period नहीं आता. उसके कई साल पहले तक आपके period irregular हो जाते हैं, या बहुत ज़्यादा flow होता है, या painful हो जाता है, या and that's a long period. That's about it can come up to 10 years also. So 10 years before you actually reach menopause, that's the time of perimenopause.
Right.
That's the time when your body is going into that zone. It doesn't suddenly just stop getting period. Yeah. So it starts to decline, the estrogen starts to decline, and then eventually the period stops. That's the menopause and perimenopause ka difference.
There are so many changes during this period. I know, like some of them go through emotional changes. Sometimes they have stiff shoulder, stiff neck, and emotional बहुत होते हैं. कभी sometimes they're very angry. You get hot flashes. So ऐसे time पे, what is the best asana, or how even I think breathing also helps a lot. So what do you suggest for ladies who are going through this period?
First of all, ये होता क्यों है? All these symptoms, why do we get that?
Right.
तो estrogen जो है ना, estrogen is not just for reproductive organs and reproductive health, not just for pregnancy related matters, but estrogen is actually a manager for your bone health, for your brain health. तो अगर जो आपका for example अगर estrogen कम हो रहा है बॉडी में तो आपके bones respond करेंगे, इसीलिए उन दिनों में पेन होने लगता है, unexplainable, कुछ नहीं है, कोई चोट नहीं लगी है, बट बोन में पेन हो रहा है. काफी लोगों ने अगर उन्होंने बोन के रिलेटेड सप्लीमेंट्स वगैरह नहीं लिए होते या ध्यान नहीं दिया होता है, तो they can actually have osteoporosis, which is your bones becoming so weak that they can break at smallest of jerks.
Okay.
और ये बहुत बड़ा इशू होता है. If they get a fracture, it's very difficult for the fracture to heal. if they have osteoporosis.
Okay.
मूड रिलेटेड, जो आपने बोला कि मूड रिलेटेड चेंजेस होते हैं, हॉट फ्लैशेस होते हैं, वो इसलिए क्योंकि आपका ब्रेन, जो न्यूट्रिशन मिल रहा था आपके ब्रेन को, जो न्यूट्रिशन मिल रहा था वो कम हो गया. तो उसकी वजह से जो टेम्परेचर रिलेटेड बॉडी जो कंट्रोल कर सकता था, मतलब अगर अभी ठंड लगेगी तो बॉडी थोड़ा सा ट्राई करेगा कि the brain will try to activate the areas in the body where the temperature regulation will happen. There is something called as hypothalamus, which is in the brain. That is like the temperature regulator of the body. बट अगर ब्रेन को वो न्यूट्रिशन नहीं मिल रहा है, या जो ब्रेन का मैनेजर था वो अभी कम हो गया है, तो फिर देन इट स्टार्ट्स टू अफेक्ट योर मूड, इट स्टार्ट्स टू अफेक्ट योर टेम्परेचर रिलेटेड.
सो बोन से मुझे याद आया, आर देयर एनी योगा रिलेटेड इंजरीज?
मल्टीपल. इनफैक्ट गलत योगा आसना करने से ऐसे इंजरीज देखे हैं मैंने कि अब वो लाइफ लॉन्ग कोई आसनास नहीं कर सकता. या आई हैव हैड पीपल हु हैव कम एंड टोल्ड मी कि उन्होंने 6 महीने कहीं पे क्लास किया और उसके बाद अब उनका बैक इतना बुरा इंजर कर चुका है कि दे कैन नॉट डू इवन अ कोबरा पोज, विच इज द सिंपलेस्ट बैक बेंड. नहीं कर सकते वो. इट इज बिकम सो पेनफुल एंड दे हैव बीन एडवाइज सर्जरी. तो रॉन्ग आसनास एंड बहुत सारे केसेस में ऐसे भी हुआ है, जैसे अगर आप पढ़ोगे अभी रिसेंटली, काफी टाइम हो गया वैसे इस बात को, काफी आसनास मॉडिफाई किए गए हैं मेडिकल इंस्टीट्यूट की तरफ से. क्योंकि कुछ आसनास में एंकल इंजरी के चांसेस काफी थे, कुछ आसनास में नी इंजरी के चांसेस काफी थे, तो दे हैव बीन मॉडिफाइड. तो वी हैव टू एज योगा टीचर्स मेक श्योर दैट वी अपग्रेड आवर नॉलेज सो वी कैन ऑल्सो पास ऑन दैट सेफ्टी रिलेटेड इंस्ट्रक्शंस टू आवर क्लाइंट्स. तो योगा रिलेटेड इंजरीज बहुत होती हैं. इसीलिए अगर आप हेल्दी हो, बाय आई मीन if you don't have any health condition, it's okay to follow a yoga, a YouTube video to do your practice or whatever. Any online platform without being guided, without being watched. But if you have any health condition or if you want to prevent injuries, you must learn from an authorized, authentic, certified teacher.
A guided one.
A guided one. Yes, a guided class where whatever you're doing is being watched by someone.
Exactly.
And the person is able to correct.
Even मैंने एक दो सुना है कि जब ब्रिज पोज कर रहे हैं, बैक बेंड जैसा, ये जो नेक है, ये भी कुछ लोग ढीला छोड़ देते हैं. That is again very risky.
It's risky. More important than सिर्फ जैसे बैक बेंड, उस्त्रासन वगैरह में आप पीछे हेड को करते हो. मोर देन दैट बीइंग रिस्की इज आप अगर वहां से सडनली जर्क के साथ बाहर आते हो, तो what happens when your neck is dropping is दो cervical spine के बीच में स्पेस कम हो गया, तो वहां पे नर्व कंप्रेशन हुआ है. अब उस नर्व कंप्रेशन को आपको धीरे धीरे रिलीज करना है. अगर आप सडनली जर्क के साथ करोगे तो देयर आर चांसेस ऑफ नर्व एंट्रैपमेंट, तो वो थोड़ा सा सीरियस भी हो सकता है. दैट्स व्हाई बैक बेंडिंग में बहुत धीरे, बहुत कॉन्शियसली ब्रीदिंग के साथ यू हैव टू गो आल्सो, यू हैव टू कम आउट आल्सो.
एंड वन मोर थिंग, जैसे कहते हैं कि इट्स ओनली योगा इज ओनली फेमिनाइन, it's not masculine, but today I see so many men who are into yoga, and not only men but I've seen the western जो Olympic players हैं, जो cricket players हैं, men, they are into, they have adapted to yoga, उनकी routine में है. So for example, I was reading about this footballer Ryan Giggs. So he's a footballer who has adapted to yoga. We also have Novak Djokovic, especially he said nasal breathing, he can focus. Serena Williams hai. Then there was this one more player, Iga Swiatek. She's a Polish tennis player. She's number 1 now, and she made a unconventional training technique that she incorporated. That is a nasal breathing. So abhi hum dekh rahe hain, not only Indians, there are many Westerners who are into yoga. So what is it that yoga is into? Because what I read on internet is mostly they are practicing breathing to focus on the game. There were 2-3 players. LeBron James, he also used to practice yoga, and he said he could focus on the game. And जो भी उनकी injuries वगैरह थे, वो उससे काफी उनकी injuries कम हुई. I read on the internet. So how is it like इतना Westerners कैसे attract हो रही yoga की? I've said a lot of things, but what is your input on it?
I think it's not about yoga being feminine or masculine. अगर आप जितने भी पुराने योगीज को देखोगे, कोई भी आप गूगल पे वर्ड फीड लिखोगे ना योगी, it will show you a male sitting and practicing.
So basically, I think in the early 80s, I think जब स्वामी विवेकानंद जी शिकागो गए थे, तो he was the one who introduced yoga to the world.
Yes.
It started from there.
Yeah.
Historically अगर आप देखो
Yes.
तो उसके बाद बहुत सारे जो yogis थे वो men ही थे, आदमी थे.
Absolutely.
Till
Absolutely.
Iyengar तक वगैरह आए लोग. But today it's not like that, you know. आजकल I mean everybody is into yoga. There's so much about earlier ऐसा था कि it's feminine, इतना ही करना चाहिए, बस इतना ही asanas है. But today when you see these sports personalities talk, even Virat Kohli talk about, you know, he's stretching है और भी it's not only about stretching. Breathing has helped a lot of people. Breathing ने बहुत उनको help किया उनके game में, improvement में. So breathing, how is, again coming to that previous question, how again can you inculcate breathing again in your game or when you're studying or when you're playing? How does the focus increase?
Like you said, a lot of men have now started picking up yoga. As a whole, not just for asanas. मतलब जब हम योगा बोलते हैं ना तो हम generally visualize सिर्फ आसना करते हैं.
Right.
But there is so much more to yoga. There is yama, niyama, asana,
Right.
pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, and then comes samadhi. So very simple. For example, I'll give you a little bit of what is yama and what is niyama. Basically, yama means your own. I mean, there are certain rules that you follow when you live in a society, like satya, being truthful. Asteya, meaning non-stealing, not stealing anyone's ideas, not stealing anyone's energy, not stealing anyone's things, energy, or anything like that. Then following, for example, there is also something about cleanliness in yoga. So there are multiple rules that you need to follow, and it's not like कि ये एकदम hard written rules है कि सबको करना ही है. But this is how you grow in yoga.
Right.
You have to be a full yogi. You have to follow all the yamas and niyamas, and then come asanas and pranayam. Today, a lot of people directly jump into asana because it's very glamorous to look at, and all the yoga poses that you see on
Many
Instagram.
Bollywood stars want to
exactly, a lot of Bollywood stars now doing
embracing yoga,
which is also good because they are promoting it in a way.
Right.
So I don't see that as a bad thing. I see it rather good. A lot of influencers on social media, I see that rather good. कुछ तो देख के कुछ तो करेंगे, कुछ नहीं करने से better है.
Right.
But talking about breathing, I think breathing बहुत लोग करते हैं. Breathing and meditation. All top level athletes, like you mentioned, all top level sports players, Hollywood stars, Bollywood stars, you name it, and there will be some kind of meditation, focus work. Even Elon Musk has said about this. Mark Zuckerberg had talked about it. So all these people do that because like we earlier mentioned, कि इतना सब कुछ, it's very overwhelming at that stage. To be able to stay sane and to be able to stay grounded, you need something like this. You need a tool to keep you grounded, to keep you. They are facing the world. Sometimes they are talking on a stage where there's like
thousands of people,
honestly every second they are being watched. So in that, if you put yourself in that frame, it's very difficult to stay grounded otherwise.
अभी भी जैसे ऑफिसेज में अभी भी मैं देखती हूँ जो especially जो IT professionals है, they're continuously sitting and they're on the screen. Okay, so mostly the problem is either with the legs, the knees, and the back. So anything small exercise that you can suggest, you know, beach where they can take breaks and do something that you would suggest.
Yeah. That's a big problem. Long sitting hours, because आप human history में देखोगे, कभी भी as humans we have never sat constantly so much. Right. How much we are sitting now, and the sitting is also mostly on a chair where our legs are hanging down. Yeah. So our hip is at an angle which is not even 90 degrees. Our hip is supposed to be very obtuse. I mean, closed angle. It should not be like this. And most of the times we are not even sitting straight. We are sitting rested with the back.
Yes.
So our core is loose. Our lumbar spine is not supported. Right. Hips are at a weird angle. My leg right now, the way I've placed it, this is not a good way to sit for long hours. For some time, it's okay. For some time, whatever position you choose, it's okay. But if your job demands you to sit for a long time, then every hour minimum, you should get up, walk around the block, do 5 to 10 squats.
Okay.
How many ever you can do. 5 to 10 squats are good enough. If you can sit down in Malasana, you should do that. If you can sit down with your legs folded, if your chair has that much space, you should do that in between.
So this is the traditional yoga that you're talking about. There is something called as the Yin Yoga.
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot about it. Of course, even I've practiced Yin Yoga and I feel very relaxed every time I do that. So what exactly is Yin Yoga?
That's also a part of Raj Yoga only,
Okay.
Hatha Yoga only.
Huh.
But it's some of those asanas where you can actually go into the pose and let your thoughts come down. So it has to be one of those asanas where not much is happening in the body.
Okay.
The body can find itself at a place where some muscles are stretching, but the stretch is kind of a stretch which you can hold for longer time.
Okay.
So Yin Yoga basically requires you to go into a pose which feels comforting, relaxing, and something that you can hold for a longer time. And you can use that time to observe, to relax, to meditate.
Right.
That's why Yin Yoga feels so good, because your mind is also
Exactly
at the
Yeah.
stage where your body is. Chinese medicine classifies energy as yin and yang.
Yeah.
And in yoga medicine, it's classified as sun and moon.
Okay.
So what represents moon in our culture is represented by yin in Chinese medicine.
Okay.
Means the same thing. Moon energy, which is more calming, more cooling. Your blood pressure comes down when you perform yin yoga. Your anxiety, depression related symptoms all come down because it calms you down. It forces you to stay in that moment for some time.
Okay.
And there's no written rule as to how many minutes you should hold. That can completely be on how much time you have. But 3 to 4 minutes each asanas, when you hold them, you have enough time for your mind to calm down and become familiar with what is happening and accept that asana and also enjoy that asana.
So the Chandra Namaskar is also related to that?
Chandra Namaskar, yes.
Okay.
So just like Surya Namaskar activates our Surya energy,
Right.
active energy,
Right.
Chandra Namaskar is to activate the lunar energy.
Now you've been into yoga for the past 8 years.
Yes.
So how has your journey been? You've been training so many people. What are the results that your clients have got from you?
Thank you so much for asking that question. I have been teaching for 8 years and I have enjoyed every day of it. Some of the most fantastic results. There was this client of mine who did, I think, 2 years with me,
Okay.
and he was advised knee surgery because during the COVID time, he had got COVID back to back twice and he got chikungunya. Soon after each, one disease and then the other. So that affected his ligaments, his muscles a lot.
Okay.
And his knees became so weak that it was very difficult for him to walk. And because of age also, he was advised surgery. But he himself is a super specialized doctor and he didn't want to go for surgery.
Okay.
So somewhere through contacts, through connections, he reached out to me and we started online classes.
Okay.
And for first 1 year, my aim was only to introduce strength related stuff. So in yoga also, there are elements that you can introduce like dumbbells, like blocks, all these props that we can use.
Yeah.
A, the props will help you to align your asanas properly. B, these props will help in going deeper. When you feel stable with the help of props, you go deeper, you are more confident. And then adding dumbbells and adding resistance training to his training was also very helpful. So first 1 year went into it. And second year, he started feeling so good that he actually added more elements to that and he started doing more yoga. So he also got introduced to Iyengar yoga and he started doing Iyengar yoga, which was again a lot of props, but with props you go more into the asana. 2 years and he's now fine and he's walking fine, no more need of surgery.
Wow.
And not just knees, he also had blood pressure issues, high
Okay.
blood pressure.
Okay.
So now he's able to manage his blood pressure without medicines.
Wow.
Which I think is the greatest
Right.
result that I have achieved. Then I've had clients with sciatica, and the sciatica was so worse, and this was very little time that I took. I think 3 months, and she got the result. So the sciatica was so bad that she would take baby steps. She was scared of climbing stairs because the moment she would lift the leg, the pain would really be pinching. The nerve would be pinching, and the pain was really bad. So just certain asanas that we added, and she was able to do them. 3 months, and she was able to climb stairs, go down, come up comfortably.
Wow. That's nice.
Then one was very important for me to highlight this case because this person is someone I know closely. I've actually studied with this person.
Okay.
I did my VDS with her. So she's also a doctor. She's got 2 kids, and 4 years ago she fell in the bathroom and she got a hip injury, pelvic bone injury. It wasn't a fracture, but it was an injury which made her kind of not really bedridden, but as good as that
Oh,
for some time.
okay.
And when the doctor did give her a certificate to start walking, she wasn't able to do it initially. And it was very difficult. And then she realized that not just the hip, the knees were also injured. And that was the time when she was looking for answers multiple places. She went to surgeons, she went to Ayurvedic doctors, she was undergoing multiple Ayurvedic therapies. And she lives in some other country. And every few months she has to fly to India to get her Ayurvedic therapies done, which was very, very expensive. So again, she came to know through social media that I teach yoga, and then she asked me if I could help. And there again, strength training helped because of the age factor also. Once you cross 35, 40,
Right.
the muscles need to be worked upon. They need your attention.
Right.
And with her also, it was a personal training that we did for I think 4 months, and she completely recovered. And now she doesn't have any pain in her back, and she doesn't need to visit India for Ayurvedic therapies every now
Wow.
and then, which is a
That's
lot of
great. I know.
money saving for her.
Seriously. So we've been talking so much about yoga. I know people have told me कि क्या शाम को योगा करती हो? योगा तो सुबह किया जाता है. But see, there are many people who practice yoga in the evening. So is it like that कि सिर्फ सुबह ही करना है योगा, शाम को नहीं करना है? Something like that?
कुछ नहीं करने से कुछ करना बेटर है. आप कभी नहीं करने से कभी करना बेटर है.
Right. Right.
तो आप बेस्ट इज of course morning because your body has been detoxed and your
Right.
digestive
Right.
system is
Yeah.
clean, so
Yeah.
you can go deeper into your practice. Also morning में muscle ज़्यादा stiff होते हैं. Evening में आप जब आसनास करोगे तो आप ज़्यादा easily कर सकते हो.
Yeah.
The only thing that needs to be taken care of कि आप कोई heavy meal खा के
नहीं
immediately
करना.
and other
2
than
hours before you can have your meal and then you
that,
can do.
2 to 3, 3 to 4 hours. अगर आप lunch खा रहे हो दोपहर
हाँ.
में तो maybe you do your practice and after that only you eat.
Okay.
Or if you have to have some tea time snacks or something, then you take less heavy stuff like go for fruits, or if you're taking tea, then it has to be a tea without milk.
One last question. What advice do you give for today's generation?
I think yoga is most beneficial to today's generation. हमारे पेरेंट्स ने तो कभी योगा सुना भी नहीं, कभी किया भी नहीं. अगर
Right.
किसी के पेरेंट्स ने किया हो
Right.
तो they are very lucky that they have been exposed early on. My parents now have picked up yoga, and both my mother and father do it every day, and they've seen the results on their own body. It's not just me. They saw the result
Right.
on me, and then of course I hope that inspired them. I don't want to take all the credit, but that's something that they have been doing. But I think अभी के generation के लिए इसीलिए ज़्यादा important है क्योंकि there is so much distraction. The world is changing faster than ever. हमने जो आज हम जो पढ़ रहे हैं वो शायद next 6 months में valid नहीं रहेगा या 1 year में valid नहीं रहेगा. तो for a world which is changing so rapidly, we really need to stay grounded, and that's why most youngsters have anxiety related problems, ADHD.
Right. Right.
That's something
Attention
that,
deficit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yoga will teach them to slow down, calm down, and breathe. And of course, physical benefits तो जो है वो है.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Beauty, for giving us your valuable time and your valuable insights. And for those watching us, I hope this video has helped us. Till then, stay tuned, stay inspired, stay healthy. Bye bye. See you in the next video.